A lot of people, we talk about insecurity. We all talk about insecurity. Actually, the insecurity is not an environment alone. Insecurity actually comes from our within. Because the moment we meet people, when we spend time with each other, right away we start judging. And the judgment actually makes you farther from the person and become insecure. So the most important part is to sort of relax your judgments and try to be present there moment and try to slowly connect with the person and know. Then you're going to see that person how much same actually like you. The love, the wanting to be happy, not wanting to be suffer, wanting to talk, wanting to share, sometimes facing difficulties. So this way, I think the most important, I like to send a message saying that you need to sort of slow down or sort of relax your judgment. Then I think insecurity is going to be much more less.
The reality is that we are all interconnected. We're interconnected with the environment, we're interconnected with each other. It's on every level we can imagine, from the atomic level all the way to just normal emotional human interaction level. What you do affects me, what I do affects you, what we do affects the environment, what happens in our world around us affects us. And yet, if we're honest with ourselves, we often live in a kind of subtle denial of this fundamental reality, that everything's interconnected. We start to act as if I'm somehow separate from everything else. And this is, Rinpoche was talking earlier about insecurity. This is actually the basis of that whole insecurity, is not seeing how we're just part of this, experiencing, I should say, this interconnectedness that's the fabric of our reality. What we try to do in our book, Radically Happy, in the chapter, on the section on interconnectedness, is give the reader tools to be able to experience interconnectedness throughout their day. And one of the things you can do, for example, is in the office, or wherever you work, is start to imagine, how did this building get here? What are all the different materials of my office that had to be made in order for this office to exist? What were all the inventions that had to happen? What kind of planet did you need to have, certain distance from the sun, a certain kind of atmosphere, carbon-based life, for there to be populated by all these people? You can think about the things that you do in the office. Perhaps you make stuff, or perhaps you provide services. Who came up with that idea? What were all the different historical moments that had to take place in order for that to happen? So, for example, I worked in Silicon Valley in the computer industry, and I had to, if I think about this, I had to think about even just the invention of mathematics, and then quantum theory is the basis. Quantum mathematics is the basis for how chips and silicon can work and produce computers. The point is, when you begin again and again to reflect on this, you see that all of us are dependent on each other, and the whole universe is manifest even in our office space. And this is the basis of interconnectedness. Now, when we start to view things through this prism of interconnectedness, our own natural warm-heartedness will emerge, because the interconnectedness and thinking about interconnectedness reminds us of this natural caring that we all have for one another.